Welcome to Yin Yoga, the session or class where we hold our stretches for between 3 and 5 minutes, going to an intensity of about 40% or 4 out of 10. So not too deep, that means we can stay longer and work on our connective tissue and our fascia. So that's the fascia bag that surrounds our muscles, and that stretches, lets the muscles stretch, lets us have a better range of movement, better circulation, feeling taller and looser. Okay, so tonight I'll try not to talk as much. I'll just encourage you to get into your stretch and then be still. I'll be quiet. I'll suggest you breathing, focus on deep breath to hopefully ease into the postures a bit better as well. So we're going to start in wide knee child pose. I'm going to offer as well an option of prayer hands, which means we can open the shoulders a bit more as well. So if you've got blocks at the front of your mat, so I'll just show you the prayer pose is where with the hands we bring them to the back of our neck or the back of our shoulders, if that makes sense, and then we're resting this part of your arm on the block or the mat. So just going to child pose first, so we're resting our bottom on our heels or on a block or a cushion if you need to, and then stretching the hands forward. So extended child pose is where we're inching our fingertips forward, and then with the prayer option you're resting your forearm on the block and the head comes to the mat or a block, so you might need a few blocks. Knees about hip width or slightly wider, and then the head's resting on the block or the mat, and hands come to rest on the back of the neck or the upper shoulders. So you're trying to push your chest closer towards the floor, so you're feeling now a stretch in your shoulders. And we're going to stay in this first pose for 3 minutes, focusing on a 3-part breath. So we're breathing into the tummy and the side ribs, the back ribs and the chest, and then breathing out chest, ribs and tummy. Tummy might gently draw away from the thighs. So if your hands are in prayer, bring the hands forward and then press into the hands to lift up. Nice and slowly. And coming onto all fours to stretch out the back of the legs one by one, pushing the heel away, changing sides. Now working on our ankle stretches, so we'll get these out of the way first. So first of all, sitting back on the heels if you can. Don't worry if you don't go back too far, or if you need a block to sit on. So basically taking the hands forward and then going back as far as you can onto the heels, with the tops of the feet resting on the floor. So we just do this a few times, and then if it feels okay, taking the hands behind with the fingertips facing forward. If you want to, we can lift the hips up towards the ceiling, feel the stretch in the thighs. So these movements are a bit more yang, back bends. So just breathe in to lift up, breathe out to lower. And if it's too much, you can take the hands forward. Whichever works for you. Lift the hips up, or even take the hands further back and lift the knees off for more of a stretch in the front of the shins, the front of the ankles, front of the feet. So maybe one more. Okay, and now the toe stretch or the toe squat. So here on all fours again, and now turning the toes under. We want to draw that little toe forward that wants to hide. So great if we're in trainers or boots a lot. So pressing those pads of the toes into the floor, that might be enough of a stretch. Just want to feel the stretch in your toes. Okay, and then if you want to, we take the bottom back again onto the heels. And forward. You should be doing this really every day. So see if you can hold a bit longer each time. Maybe quickly count to 10. And come forward. And then quickly count to 15. And then the last one, see if we can hold for 30 seconds. Maybe 3 deep breaths. Come forward slowly. Oh, okay. Shake out the feet with relief. We'll take the ankles maybe. And then from here we're going into our supported bridge. So this supported bridge, try it with 1 block, then 2 blocks, then 3 blocks, or cushions, or even a rolled up mat would be fine. So we want to kind of build up the intensity gradually. If you've only got 1 block, that's also fine. We have a way to build up a bit more intensity. So we're going to stay in this one for 5 minutes, because after about 3 minutes we're going to bring ourselves out slowly. So first of all, we want to be making sure our shoulders and our head is resting on the floor, and it's our sacrum or the base of our spine that's resting on the block. And there's a couple of options with positions for the legs. So knees apart, feet out, or knees hip width apart, feet hip width apart. Butterfly with the soles of the feet together, or legs out straight. And that's the one that's more intense for your back extension. So you need to be careful if you've got any back issues, especially if you're upping the height of your blocks. So going to stay for the 5 minutes. So if you're upping the intensity, maybe you can change the position of the legs. Just see what feels good. Maybe 6 deep breaths with each position, which is about a minute. So if you've got your 10-second breath, I'll leave it to you to decide. I won't talk too much. That's about a minute, so we can up our support. Change position of the legs maybe. Change position of the arms, maybe bringing the arms above the head, taking hold of the opposite elbow. Another 6 breaths. And if you want to make that block a bit higher, staying focused on your breath as deep as possible, noticing the rises of the body as you inhale, expansion of the body on the inhale, and release of the body on the exhale. So if you're using blocks, we'll remove them one by one. about another 6 of those lovely deep full breaths. Finally bringing the back to the floor, and to balance out the back you need to just do some gentle back moves. So if you bring the knees into the chest first of all, with drawing the knees in and taking the knees side to side. And next move, if you have any back issues, this is very gentle. So our hands are resting on our knees, taking the knees away so we feel the back flat on the floor. And then we're drawing the knees in towards the chest. Here we could even bring the head up to the knees. So we're getting that nice curve in the back. Lowering the head as we take the knees away. And we should always do this move, especially after the supported bridge, especially if you've had your legs out straight, because that's quite intense compression for the back. And then one more move for our back, so hugging the right knee in towards the chest, extending the left leg along the floor. And changing sides, so left knee in towards the chest, right leg along the floor. Both knees in towards the chest, hugging the knees in, and then either take the knees down to the right hand side or lift up slowly to seated. Okay, so next we're going to do 3 moves. So, well, it's one move, it's straddle, taking the hands through first of all, then hands over the right side, back to the centre and over to the left side. We'll hold for about, say, 2 minutes each side. If it doesn't feel good to do the full straddle, as you come to the side, you can do half straddle or half dragonfly. So both those are called the same, dragonfly or straddle. So it's up to you. I recommend getting a block to help us be able to fold forward a bit more. This can also be done with legs up the wall, if you prefer, with the whole of your back resting on the floor and the bottom close to the wall, with the feet apart, and then one leg can come into the thigh. It's up to you. Okay, so first of all, going forward for about 6 breaths. So 6 deep breaths, and we just want to notice where we feel a stretch as we come forward. So there's a couple of target areas. Got the lower back, got hamstrings, calves. You also want to notice if your toes go in or your toes go out. It doesn't matter. Just shows if you're more externally rotated in your hips or internally rotated in your hips. And you might notice one foot comes in more than the other, and so that's what Yin's about. It's about noticing what's going on in our bodies. So you can hold on to your legs, you can bring the hands forward, you can bring the elbows forward, maybe resting on blocks. now to fold over the right leg. So as I said, you can keep that left leg out straight. If you want to, you can draw the left foot into the right thigh. You might want to move the block, just see how it feels. Now stretch for your toes or your shin. You can have hands or blocks either side of your right leg, just whatever feels good. 4, 6 breaths. And lift up slowly. If the left leg's bent, stretch out the left leg, and we're folding over the left leg. Remember, we can draw that right heel now into the left thigh. And lift back up slowly. And then finishing again in the full dragonfly. So notice if you're sitting on your block, if you can come a little bit more forward, reach forward. Notice if the stretch is a bit less intense. About 6 more breaths. Press into the hands as we lift up. Okay, so for the counter pose here, bending the knees up and the feet are together. Sorry, feet are apart, knees are apart for windshield wipers. We're doing the windshield wipers slowly. Noticing where we feel the sensation, the rebound. And one more each side. Okay, and then from here we're going to do dangling and squat. So you can stay in one for the full 2.5 minutes, or you can alternate between dangling and squat. So squat is great for the hips. I need to rest my heels on blocks, or we could have a rolled up mat. And here we want to push the knees away, and we've got the palms at the chest. We're trying to draw the chest forward, so we're not rounding the back. We're drawing the chest forward. Maybe the toes are out at like 10 to and 10 past, and the knees are at 10 to and 10 past on the clock. And then if you want to have a rest from the squat, you press into the hands, lift up to dangling. And again here, keep the knees soft if you have any back issues. Only straighten the legs if your back's completely okay. And then we take hold of opposite elbow. And the deeper we can breathe, the better. So all the way as much as you can to the top of your inhale. And then with your out breath, try to draw every last bit of your out breath out. We've always got more in breath and more out breath than we realise. Not just breathing into the chest either, breathing into that tummy, into the diaphragm, full diaphragmatic breathing. I'll tell you when we're halfway. If you want to stay for the 2.5 minutes in dangling or squat. So that's about halfway. Move position if you need to. Still focusing on your deep breath. About 3 more breaths. And if you're in dangling or squat, just bringing the hands forward, slowly onto all fours, one at a time, stretching the leg behind, stretching out the toes. And then if you want to, lifting up into a gentle down dog. So turning the toes under, chest through to the thighs, lift the hips up towards the ceiling, keep the knees soft. We can keep one leg straight while we press the opposite heel into the mat. And bring the knees to the mat again. And then lying on our backs. So here, if you've got a belt or a scarf or a tie, I'm going to do some hamstring stretches with the belt. Okay, so first of all, you just need to rest off that back after the dangling and the squat. So bring both knees into the chest, hogging the knees in, knees side to side. So this is like the moves again to release the back. So knees away, knees into the chest, maybe lifting the head towards the knees. And if that feels good, carry on with that. Or bring one knee into the chest, extend the other leg away. Maybe slowly change sides. Okay, so now we're going to do our hamstring stretches. So left foot is pressing into the floor with the left leg bent, and the sole, the belt is around the sole of the right foot. We're resting the elbows on the floor, resting the back of the head on the floor, chin towards the chest. We might need a block underneath the head, and that right leg is as straight as possible with the heel away and toes towards the face. Just to start with, if you want to, you can stretch out the left leg. That means that that right leg might go further away from your body. Just listen to your body, because you don't really want to be straining too much at the higher hamstring area, because that can become overstretched. So if it feels like pain, or if you have any issues with hamstrings, it's best to keep that left leg bent. Also, if you have any issues with your back, it's best to keep your left leg bent. You can walk the hands up the belt if you like. Try not to strain in the jaw or the neck here. Try not to also lift your bottom off. So if you pull the right leg in too much, your bottom will come off. So take that leg away and let the back and the bottom rest. Then from here we're taking the hold of the belt with the right hand, left hand out to the side, and we're taking our right leg out to the right. So where we're going to hold here 6 deep breaths. And draw the right leg back to the centre. Take hold of the belt with the left hand, right hand out to the side, and left leg extends along the floor. We're drawing the right leg over to the left and hold it again for 6 breaths. And slowly back to the centre. Just pushing the right heel away, toes towards the face. See if the right leg will gently stretch and straighten. And bend up that left leg, left foot into the floor, releasing the right leg. Stretch out the right leg, stretch out the left leg, and let the small toes flop out to the side. So we just want to notice, just take awareness completely to the right leg and notice any sensations at all. Now we're doing all the same again on the left side. So right foot presses into the floor and belt around the sole of the left foot. Just resting the elbows on the floor, holding the belt softly just between the thumb and the first finger. You can, if you want to, try maybe extending the right leg away. I will do that more towards the end. And remember, we're keeping our whole of our back flat and pressed into the floor. Now taking hold of the belt with the left hand, right hand out to the side, slowly lowering the left leg out to the left, with the leg as straight as possible, and hold for 6 breaths. Take a breath in and stretch. Bring the left leg back to the centre. Extend the right leg along the floor. Take hold of the belt with the right hand, left hand out to the side. Drawing now the left leg over to the right. Hold again for 6 breaths. breathe in, back to the centre, and hold again for about 6 breaths with the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling. Nice and relaxed, throat relaxed, jaw relaxed. Bring down the left foot, release the belt to the side, stretch out the left leg, small toes roll out to the side, and for about a minute just noticing the sensations in your left leg, all the way from the toes, all the way up to the hip. And bring the feet together, stretch the arms above the head, extend the fingertips, extend the toes, deep breath in. As you breathe out, bring your arms down slowly and bring the knees into the chest, releasing off the back. Then for something different, we're going to try reclining caterpillar and maybe turn it into a snail, depending on your back mobility. So I'll just show you. So for snail, you might need some blocks or a chair that your feet are going to come on behind your head. A chair might be better for some people, but I'll show you that could be a chair. Okay, so the caterpillar, reclining caterpillar, is this belt around the sole of the both feet, and we're stretching up. So if we do seated caterpillar, basically it's a bit more intense on the lower back. So we can stay in reclining caterpillar with the legs slightly bent if you want to, or legs completely straight. Then if you want to try snail, it's a great stretch for the hamstrings, great little massage for the shoulders and the neck. In snail, we mustn't look around. So I'll just show you. So we bring the knees in towards the chest, press into the hands, and we kind of take our knees behind and rest the feet on the floor or the block or the chair. So it's like that. And if you want to, you can bring your knees bent by the side of the head. It's up to you. You can interlock your fingers. This one kind of sets off your throat. It's very good for your thyroid and your throat. So you might need to have a drink of water or something. So as you find which one you want to do, I'm just going to get a quick drink of water. It won't be a minute. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm back. So I don't start coughing again. I'm going to stay in reclining caterpillar, even though the snail is one of my favourite stretches. So I'm going to hold. You can alternate between the two if you want to for 3 minutes. If you want to let go of the belt, you can take the hands, interlock the fingers behind the knees. You can do circles with the ankles. And another 6 breaths. So if you're in snail, want to just come out slowly, just by pressing the hands into the floor and rolling the back slowly to the mat, and bring the knees into the chest, either drawing a circle with the knees here. Feel that nice gentle massage on the spine, especially the lower back. And we'll finish with reclining twist. So as usual, there's 2 options. I'll go through them both. So wrap the arms out like a T shape to start. The gentle version is with the knees together and the feet together, and we're taking the knees down to one side, say to the right hand side, and looking over the left shoulder. Or more intense is the right leg is out straight, the left foot's over the right knee. We're drawing that left knee down to the right. We can even hook our left toes underneath our right calf. So this one's called twisted roots. And then if you want to also, we can draw the left knee down to the right hand side. So whichever one you've chosen, holding for 6 breaths, making the breaths again as deep as possible, really slowing the breath down. Return to the centre, stretch out both legs, take a deep breath in, stretch the arms above the head, And then go to the other side, either knees together or in that twisted roots with the left leg extended, right ankle over left knee, maybe twisting that right foot underneath the left calf, taking the knees down to the left. And again, 6 deep breaths. And returning back to the centre, stretch out both legs, feet are together as we breathe in and stretch the arms above the head. Breathe out and draw the arms slowly down, bringing both knees in towards the chest. And we'll finish in constructive rest for our back and our hips. So knees are together and feet are apart. If you like here, you can stretch the arms above the head and take hold of opposite elbow. Or more final relaxation is with the palms out at the side of the body, palms up, for hands resting on the tummy. So just for 2 minutes, we're going to focus on deep abdominal breathing. So it's that one where we breathe into the tummy again, side ribs, back ribs, chest expand. When you're ready to breathe out, exhale, exhale, exhale. Feel like you're really letting go, releasing the body deeper and deeper into the mat with each exhale. So 2 minutes. deeper breath behind. Get ready to move the body, bring movement into the body, whichever way feels good. So you could bring the knees into the chest, you could wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, rotate the ankles, the wrists. And stay a bit longer in final relaxation if you like. Or lift up slowly, whichever way feels good for you. Thank you for joining. See you soon. Bye.